So now we have a lot of interesting shapes in this lesson to do. We'll be learning to do a lot of body shapes for human figurines and also for the animals. Okay, so the first one that we have here is a pear shape. In place of the teardrop, we can have pear shapes as well for making the animal bodies. Okay, and then we have the cylinder. Basically it's like an extension of the oval, and then this again, if we extend, then we will have sausage basically. So this is in like in between, but this is going to be the body of an animal, and then the animal will be standing on four legs. So this we will be using like this, which will be standing on four legs, like this is the shape we will be using for making the sheep animal figurine in our course. Okay, so that is how it looks like a capsule. Basically it's a cylinder. And then we have this interesting shape, like if you can already figure out, that looks like a whale, but then that can be used for making whale as well, or it is the body of a bird. Like for any bird you can start with this shape, like a pointy tail which is flattened out as well at the base, and then you have a broad end on one side, and then we'll have a ball again here which will be the face of the duck, but then this shape we will be using for making duck in this course. And now this another interesting shape, which is another extension of this cylinder. Basically we just have this shape here that is taper down a little bit, and then using the same amount, the same fondant, you can see that there is a dent and a shape pulled out to form the neck, and that again we will be using to make the body of the animal, and the animal is just going to stand on four legs, and that is a bit detailed four-legged animal's body, and this will be a simple animal's body. So this we will be using it for the sheep, and this we will be using it for making unicorn. Okay, and then we have this another interesting shape. It looks quite clear what it is, but this shape will be used for humans figurine body. Okay, so it just starts with a basic cylinder like that, and then when you compare the both, you can see it is tapered down and then flattened out, and here we have the neck part which is just tapered down here, and then we have the neck pulled. So we have the shape of a human's body. So the back can be completely flat as well. And then this was quite interesting shape that you can see. Like you don't need to make any additional legs or hands, or the four legs for the animals. The entire thing you can see is just made using a single ball of fondant. You can see. So how do we actually use one piece without having to add any additions of the legs? So this is basically going to be like that, and the face like a ball would come in here. Okay, it is like these are the legs at the back and these are the legs at the front, and say suppose you have the head, and the head would come here, and that is just an example for you to understand why we are learning to make this shape, and that will be the last shape that we will be doing here. Okay, so I'm just going to set them aside and then start making and showing it to you one by one. Okay, so now take the ball, make a smooth ball. Okay, no creases, and then now we are going to do the pear shape. Okay, so first make a simple sausage, and then again use two of your index finger and then taper down okay, on one side. This is the shape that you will have, okay, and put it on your working counter. Gently get the base flat and make the top a bit pointy. You don't need it bulgy on both ends. You just need to have it, the top not too bulgy, but then you want the bottom bulgy. Now if the bottom is not bulgy because you just pressed it out much, so you can just use your fingers here on the top and just press it down. Put some pressure from the top, press it down, so the base broadens out. Okay, so you have the pear shape done. Okay, and now you move on to the whale, which is the duck's body that we will be doing. The first thing, again a ball, and then we make a teardrop first. Okay, now we have the teardrop, and then we will make this pointy and then use this finger to gently bend it up, let it face up. Okay, and again if you want that bird, the body of the bird to be on your cake, so you just want the base to have a flatter surface, so gently put it on your work counter and then rub it gently without putting pressure here, because it is going to damage the shape that you have. So you want to taper it here, and in case you want this a little more broader, just use your fingers and then dab it, so it is going to get broader there. And if you want it even more pointy, you can still just use your fingers and gently pull it out. So if you want it longer, gently pull it out without damaging the shape. Okay, so you have the duck's body's shape as well made. Now let's make the cylinder. Okay, so again cylinder is quite simple. It is nothing but making a ball. Then by putting it in between your palm is again not going to get a leveled cylinder. So when you want the both the ends also to be uniform, what you can do is to, okay, and you can also switch over to using a fondant smoother. Okay, so there we have the cylinder also made. And now we make the animal's body that will be used for making animals that are standing on 4 legs. Okay, so it will be the same shape that we did right now. Start with a ball and then make a sausage. First a stout one, okay, and now here you see there is the shape here for the body, which we can just do by keeping it on the work counter and use your pinky finger to just roll it back and forth and create the dent in the middle. Okay, so once that is done, you just flatten it out gently. Okay, and now here is where we're just going to pull out the neck part. So it is going to be like that, and now I'm just going to use my fingers. So I don't want to just pinch and pull it right on top. I'm going to gently just start shaping it. You can see, very gently use your fingers and start shaping it. First get a pointy cone kind of a shape. So you can see the difference between here and here, because but then they all started like being at the same level, but with gentle pulling, you know, after you have quite a handful, then you can use your 3 fingers here. So that forms the neck. I'm just going to even out. Okay, now if you want that neck part not too long but still stout, still get it longer first. Okay, and then you can just blunt it out, on top of which the face will come. And now again adjust for the shape here for the body, here at the base as well, again on the other side. Okay, so you have the shape of the animal's body, which has an additional shape here in the middle, a beautiful curve, and then using the same piece we have pulled out the neck and then blunt it out, on top of which the face of the animal will just be made. Okay, so now the next thing, we will move on to the shape of the human's body. Okay, so it's again a pretty simple shape to make. Obviously we know we just need to start off with a ball, a no crease ball first. Okay, and then let's do the stout sausage, the cylinder shape first, and let's flatten it using the fondant smoother. Okay, now we want it narrower on one end, and then we want it broader on other end. So I'm going to use this finger here to just make it stay there. So I can use the other finger and then broaden and make it a V shape first. Okay, so I'm flattening it down and creating a V shape, and here as well I just want it flattened out. So flat on both ends like that here, but then narrow on one side and then broader on the other side. Now we just have the tummy part a little inside the chest, right? So let me just press down for the tummy. Again, just make sure I'm gently just rounding it up here. So this can be flat, so we can have the legs go in. So I'm holding here, so as I'm pushing, you can see I'm just holding this side, because without it, if I'm just going to push, then maybe it moves for you. So hold it here and then ensure how much narrow you want. Now because you want it flat and then you're pressing it down, you need to keep a watch whether it is just reducing in height. In that case, you just need to bring it back and make sure how much of flat end side you want, that much you will just retain. Okay, and then again on here, so the chest is here and the tummy is here as well, right? Now the next thing we would want is the neck. So now here is where, like how we just pulled the neck very gently from both the sides here. Okay, and now again on the opposite side again. Very gently, when if you're just having the folds running in, let them be even. Just get back and check on the chest and the abs, and I'm just going to press it down here. Okay, so because the shoulder ends at this place and the neck tapers down, right? So make sure it tapers here for the abdomen, it is flat, and then you have a raised area for the chest, and again here we're just going to get the neck tapered. See, one part can be flat, okay, the back can be flat. You don't have to worry too much to actually get the spine shape, etc. for the back. Have the back flat. Now once you have the neck, if that is too pointy, we could just chop off that excess. If blunting out you think is just going to damage the shape. Okay, so I have the shape of the human's body with the abdomen inside and the chest raised up, and then there is a little more dent towards the neck, and we still maintain the V shape also. Okay, so that will be the shape done for human's body. And now the last and the most interesting shape is the animal's body that we will be doing. All the 4 legs that are just modeled and made out of a single piece of fondant. So let's just see how we will be making that. So I'm just going to grab some fondant, knead that well. And now if it is a bigger portion, and now you know the pressure, you'll not be able to put like pressing in between your palms and then kneading like that. You can just squish it, putting it in your hands. Squishing because you will have more power than putting both the hands together. So squish well, and what that squishing is going to do is to put all the joints together. It will warm up and then put the joints together. So like a smiley ball, stress busting ball, do that step first and then just roll it nicely in between, because you don't want crease, because already we're just going to pull out the legs. Okay, so you have a clean smooth ball. Now I'm just going to start with the stout sausage, the cylinder. Now I'm just going to use the Dresden tool and just divide the front. Okay, just make a marking like that. Okay, now we have it open out like that with two sides. Okay, now from this one side I'm going to gently pull out, which will be the front leg. So this one is what I am doing now, which will be this side. And now to the other side, so we have both the front legs come out. Okay, and now for the back, I'm just going to make two deep cuts. I don't want to remove off, just make two deep cuts at the back. Okay, and now just gently opening up from where I cut. So you can see this is just opened up and it is going to stay. And now again here we have the next cut that was made. Just gently pull it out. So the back is just going to look like this. Okay, and this I'm just going to fold it down like that, and then that will become the hind legs. So now the rest is just going to be shaping of the body. And just make this division a little more wider here. So as I'm placing it down, it is just not going to join up together. So here again, if I just want the muscle marking to be done from some part of the body, we can still do that. Now you can just shape them. Okay, again I'm just going to just make an impression. So it just becomes the lower level of the body. Okay, and now here again make impressions for the toenails. Okay, so we have this animal's body which we didn't have to open up or add any other extra attachments to make the hands. We just formed it using a single piece, and when we have the head on it, then we'll have like the animal is just lying down and it is resting kind of a pose. This is a great way to do that. So now let's just come back from where we, so let's just start from where we began. We have the pear shaped, and that will be a variation to the animal's body, a sitting animal. And then we have the shape for the duck's body, and then we did the cylindrical shape, which is the body for a simple four-legged animal. In our case, we will be making a shape using this, and then we made the animal's body with a little more variation, where we just gave the shape to the body, and then we also have pulled out the neck, and then we made the human body with the chest and abs, and then pulled out for the neck here, and then we made the animal's body like the sleeping or the resting animal's body, where we just made out the four legs out of the single piece of fondant. Okay, and then we will be using them in making more figurines in the following lessons. But right now we just name the shapes so we know where to use what, and this will start from S11, S12, S13, S14, S15 and S16. So catch you up in the next lesson.